And we're live. I'll do my little intro as I always do. Hey everybody, welcome back to Anime Deco. Today we're streaming live with another Gunpla, chilling this time with the Gunpla builders of America. What's up, guys? Welcome to the show.
What's up, man? You guys get to look at my ceiling now.
Awesome. That's fantastic.
It's like,
That's perfectly fine.
oh, you got a little bit of a view of my snake in the background. So. Okay.
Is that a snake in the tank back there? For real?
Yeah, it's my corn snake.
Holy moly, that's badass, man. How cool is that? Wow. So tell me about your club a little bit, guys. Is it like a Facebook only thing, or do you guys have like offline meets too, or like what happens with this group?
Generally, for the most part, we were all in Gunpla Builders, another group. And Cody, the page creator, and John made the American page because I guess they were just when
Born to
Gunpla
speak in
Builders.
Malaysian.
When we all first got on that page, there was
Like
it was
30.
an old set of admin, and there was like no control over the page whatsoever. Like people did whatever they want. There was a lot of people just not posted in English, and a lot of like porn spam. We just got really tired of it, and so they made the American page. And I think I joined it when there was maybe 10 people on the page. Matt was one of them, and they made me admin within about a month of being on it, and it just spread from there. I mean, we made Ian an admin. He donated a prize for build off we did.
That was one of the first build offs, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's all you have to do to be an admin now?
We added Kenny shortly after, and then Matt we added because we felt sorry for him because we busted his chops
Because Unicorn Master Race. I mean, I'm just saying.
yeah, this you want to talk about Unicorn? Like Matt's the person to go to.
In regards to that prize from all the way back then, I actually want to give a shout out to Byron, who was the one that won that, and he actually built it and everything like that. So and
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Isn't he from like Greensboro?
I think so.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's from here.
Yeah. No way.
Awesome. Offline, me and Ian knew each other for years. We met each other on the Rooster Teeth forums, believe it or not.
Nice.
Yeah.
We met each other on the Rooster Teeth forums way back during the Bruce Blue days, and then suddenly he posted freaking pictures from the one of the car meets in the area, and I was like, "That's by my house!"
Nice. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Isn't it
And
so
then
cool how like Gunpla people, like there's a fair chance that like if you meet other Gunpla people, they'll be into cars and video games and anime, and like all three of those things. It's so interesting how like practically everybody I know who's into Gunpla, they're all into that stuff, you know? It's awesome.
I mean, for the most part, all the admins on the page are like big time car people too. I mean,
so
Ian, Mr. Camaro or Mopar or whatever he wants to be. Ken's had a ton of cool cars in the past, and he still has a nice pickup. I had a bunch of Mustangs and stuff, and Cody and John are big into like the drift stuff, which is pretty cool. And
I drive a Cobalt.
Yeah, Matt's got a Cobalt because Matt.
It's okay. I daily drive a Chevy Sonic. I understand your pain. I compensate with the motorcycle, dude. I compensate.
It's all right. Next year, though. Next year, the Challenger comes into play. So we're good.
Oh, well, then I'm screwed. Thanks.
Not my fault. I'm a broke college student.
Yeah.
All right. So supposedly there's a guy named Kyle. He said he'll join in about an hour or so. I don't know Kyle.
That's cool. Kyle. Yeah, he exists.
It just says Kyle.
Is
he the person?
If he's not from your group, then he must be from Washington State Gunpla because they're going to be joining in at like 2 p.m. So
that's pretty cool.
In an hour or so. So that'll be cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
We try keeping like the relations with the other pages like open too. Like me, Kenny, even Ian now, we're even admins on Gunpla Builders, believe it or not.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I saw you sent the request for that page last night. Yeah. And
very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only recently joined Gunpla Builders. I didn't know that it existed for the longest time, and then I just a few days ago. So I recently joined that group too. So That's awesome. That's really that's pretty awesome. Very cool. Have you guys been into Gunpla for a long time, or is it a recent thing for most of you? Or how did the hobby in your lives?
I think for the most part, we all got into Gundam back in the early 2000s with Wing.
Yeah, no, maybe it sounds like 5.
Well, that's when we got into Gundam itself, not into Gunpla, like building the models.
Well, I built models. I think
like you and I built models as kids.
Yeah. I think
like
in 2000
1 or 2 Gundam models as a little kid. And I know you had at least one of the same ones I had.
Yeah, and then around my very first Gundam was the 1100 Ultron, the no grade. I got it at Toys R Us. Had no idea what I was doing. I painted it with a paintbrush with Tester's paint. It was all nice and chunky looking.
Awesome.
That kind of
undiluted Tester's freaking gloop.
So normal builds.
I still did a lot of the G Gundam little 1/144 kits because I couldn't find the action figures. I was bigger into the action figures when I was younger. And I think my first master raid was the Sharzaku, the 1.0, which was that was horrible. And then I did the last 2 I did was the Zeta and the Mark II 2.0s, and then I pretty much got out of Gundam for a while. It's because it was just hard. You just couldn't find the stuff anymore, and I wasn't about to start buying stuff online because I was only like 16 at the time.
Yeah, sure.
That's like, that was with me being born in '96. I didn't get into like Wing and G and all that stuff. I didn't get into it probably about like 2014. Out of nowhere, I walked.
It's okay.
I walked into I remember because Barnes and Nobles just started carrying them by the ones I lived at, and I walked in and there was just it was the Sengoku Astray at the time for Build Fighters, and it was
like that one's so cool.
It was like $20. I'm like, I have to have it, but then I bought the Wing Fenice. Actually,
my first. Yeah, my first was like 1999. It was right when Turn A came out. I had no clue what Turn A was, but there was a 1/144 high grade. The golden sumo.
The sumo.
And the only reason I bought it was that I couldn't afford a wing kit, and it was marked half price at the comic shop. So that was my first kit.
It's like your second class.
So, basically. And really what got me right back into it was, I think it was about like 2009. I was at a Goodwill. It was a Master Grade RX-78 1.5. Still in the box. Everything was there. And I was like, dude, all right, cool. So I went up to the cashier. I was like, how much is this? It was $3.99. And, yeah, it's been downhill since then.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dear God.
I think when I got back into it, my local shop started carrying Gundam kits, and I figured the prices just dramatically went up because times changed. Ian knows what shop this is. Dude, he wanted $100 for the 3.0 RX-78.
Holy shit!
I paid $50 for the real grade Titans Mark II because I figured that's just how much they were going for. Yeah, I learned quick. It was $60 for the high grade full armored unicorn, and not even
Jesus.
Yeah, I paid for that because I didn't know. And sure enough, Ian was like, dude, there's a place in North Jersey we gotta go called Gundam Planet, and that started my addiction.
That's so cool. You Jersey guys are lucky, man. Y'all have Gundam Planet, huh?
I got into Gundam. My first kit was around the same time as Dane was talking about, like it's like late '90s, early 2000s. It was was it the Altron or was it? No, it was the Altron. Yeah, it was the 1/144.
Probably the same. Yeah, the same.
No, mine was the 1/144th scale though. Mine wasn't the one.
Yeah. And I'm happy too. They recently
snapped it together with stickers. I was a little kid. But I was always into car building and stuff like that. And so later on, my buddy Jonathan Spence, he got me into Gundam building when we went to Otakon together, and he was buying kits. And then I was like, "Oh, dude, I kind of want to buy some of these." So I bought a couple of them, and we built them like just sitting on his floor in his house side by side. And I was like, This is therapeutic. I just need to do this. No.
Isn't it though? It's so
Fun.
therapeutic. It's like a kind of meditation or something. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's
So I
funny.
got
My parents got me into building models when I was young. It like kept me out of trouble in school. Like they buy me like car models and stuff all the time.
Yep,
So
it was World War II models for me. So
yeah,
I came from the realm of Transformers.
yeah.
I grew up with Transformers, so my 4 fucking display cases of Transformers.
Sweet.
But that's how
so
I
cool.
get into it. I was house watching, and I was just chilling on YouTube for like a week because I had nothing better to do. And I came across Robert 184. Love that man. He's not on anymore though. But I started watching it. I started like it was actually the Banshee that I was super into it. Now I remember talking to myself. There's one called the Unicorn. What the hell is that? And then I just like forgot about it for like 2 years until I walked in Barnes and Noble, and I'm like, oh hey, this is okay. I'll give it another try because I had aspirations with going in because I didn't know the scales yet. So I went into a hobby store. I forgot which one it was, but they had the no grade 1/100 red frame ashtray. And then I thought was the 1/100. Then they had the high grade 1/144 scale, like the old one from like the 90s, before all the new ones came out.
Cool.
It was I thought I bought the 100 scale. I came home and I'm like, this thing is really damn tiny. Like this thing's like super small.
Yeah.
I paid like $20 for this. I feel kind of cheated.
I'll tell you what though, like the gap from like 2006, which was like the last time I built a Gundam kit, until 2013 when I got back into it, just how much the kits have changed.
Oh yeah.
It's like they literally
amazing.
just throw everything in the box for you just to build it. It's like
It's incredible.
they're just like, I mean, if you don't get me wrong, you do get a decent looking kit right out of the box, but
True.
I think I quickly moved on to wanting to paint everything I build.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely did.
Yeah.
I
I think maybe my first 3 kits were straight built, and after that, I just started going to town on them.
bought
So,
many models.
I still say that a good route to go is, I mean, if you're just getting in, but you do still want it to look at least a bit more presentable kind of thing.
Okay.
Straight build it, put the decals on that you want to put on. If they're either dry transfer or water slide, if they're stickers, you're kind of boned. And just top coat the dang thing.
Yeah, that's what I did for a while.
Yeah, top coating, just straight build and top coating can look really, really good.
Yeah.
Like, it makes it look legit.
A lot of my first kits, it's pretty much what I did. I'd build the kit as is. I mean, I'd paint just small details, whatever I thought had to be painted, and I would do like, it used to me a weathering powder, because that stuff will actually, like, if you know how to use it right, it'll actually look pretty good. And I just do a top coat on it. And I did, like I said, a lot of my first kits like that.
Yeah.
I've moved on to full-blown paint jobs now, though, and I think my girlfriend getting me the airbrush for my birthday 2 years ago was probably the best thing I ever got.
Oh man, airbrush is life, man. It's so good. It's just so fantastic.
Yeah.
Honestly, like my first model kit that I ever built, I remember like it was a Christmas present from my dad, and it was just such a fun experience. We were sitting there on the kitchen table building this Corvette, like this awesome looking 1960s Corvette, and it got to the point where we had to paint the thing, and I was like, wow, look at this like bright red Testors paint. It's so awesome. This thing is gonna look amazing. It's gonna look just like it does in the box. And I started like painting this on with like the Testors shitty brush that they sell at like your Walmart or whatever. And I was just traumatized. I was like,
hard plastic.
I must be just like a terrible, like really horrible painter. Like I just have look at my skills. Like look how much this looks horrible and like cancerous. But just look how it looks on the box. Like I can never build another model again because I'm just suck at this.
Is the key thinner? Thinner is the key.
Yeah. See, so now I know that. But can you imagine like trying to glob on red paint? No primer.
No, trust me. It's
I tried to do that actually. There was the dress in high grade from Double Zeta. Oh god, I tried to straight up paint the thing out of the bottle, like just straight up with like a thing of brown Tamiya paint. It's so bad.
Yeah,
like, I glued it together, but I forgot a piece. So there's just like a gap now.
no. So the first model kit I ever built with my dad, Christmas again. He got the box set. It had a Blue Angel plane and a Thunderbird plane in it.
Oh, nice.
I built the Thunderbird. He built the Blue Angel. All my dad really did, he would paint the pilot in it real quick, and then he'd put everything, because it was molded in blue already. He put the decals on it.
That's really cool.
Well, years later, I picked up a 69 Camaro at AC Moore. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to paint this thing, because I got into 40K for a while. So
cool.
I was painting those, and I was decent at it. But I was mainly painting just the miniatures. I never painted the tanks and stuff. So I got the 69 Camaro. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to paint it with this blue Citadel paint. Yeah, I painted with a brush with no primer. I'm like, what's wrong with this thing? It came out terrible. I was like, never again. I took it to the hobby shop I went to, and I was like, how do I fix this? And they just like pointed me to the aisle with all the Tamiya spray cans. And they're like, did you ever spray paint anything? I'm like, yeah. They're like, just do that. Trust me. I built like an STI. It came out really good. And after that, it was just hooked on freaking paint and everything.
Yeah. So then I never built a model for like probably 30 years or so. 20 years, not 30. I'm 30.
Jesus, that's as old as I am.
Hey, Dave, did I tell you? You mentioned 40K. Did I tell you that I found them?
Oh my god.
Ooh, that looks pretty cool, actually.
The Emperor's pointy sticks rise again.
It was an old 40K webcomic, and he was like, you know what, I'm painting them like that. I'm like,
yeah.
All right, but you cut him off the end. Good going.
Sorry.
That's okay. So then I didn't build any model kits for like all throughout high school. I was like, nope. I'm not doing that again. That was just horrible. Painting is disgusting and terrible, and I suck. So it was just straight video games for like the whole time. And then at one point, I found like this F-16 model kit, and I was like, maybe I'll try building another one. And it was just like somehow worse than the first time, and I tried using spray paint this time too, and I just had no notion of how to paint anything. I had the spray can like right up to the thing. I'm like, well, there's no paint coming out of this damn thing. I better like coat it good and proper. Drips everywhere. It was an absolute shit show. So once that was done, then at some point I started seeing people building these really cool robot models. I'm like, whoa, what the hell are those? I'm like, oh, these are Gundams, man. These are from this like 1970s Japanese show called Mobile Suit Gundam. I was like, wait, is it an anime? Because I don't watch like Pokemon. I don't do Pokemon, dude. And anyway, so then it took me forever to get an anime. And then at some point I found out that Gundam models were like pre-cast in the color they're supposed to be. And I was like, this is perfect for me. This is just lovely. I'll just do that. I'll build a Gundam. And so last year there was an anime convention near my home, and I was like, okay, let me check this out. I'll see if I can find a cool little Gundam, and maybe I'll build one. And there'll be people there who are building them, and they can show me how to do it. So then I lo and behold, I went there. I got my first Gundam. And they were all out of RX-78s. I figured I'll just get an RX-78 because that looks like, that's the one that everyone knows.
The Gundam.
That's the Gundam. And they obviously didn't have any left. So I figured, okay, I'll get like the Zaku, I guess. That's like the Stormtrooper or whatever. And the only one they had left was a big gun Zaku from Thunderbolt. Pretty freaking And but I bought it and I started building this thing, and I was like, man, this is really fun. This is really awesome. I mean, you can snap it together. You can technically make these with no glue or paint or anything. And then so after like maybe 2 weeks, I'd snapped the thing together. It was looking good. Some decals on there. I realized I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just paint the thrusters. Like I'll get this little paint markers that they have there. The Mr. Color paint markers. Okay, I'll just start with the thrusters, and then it's just been like an absolute ridiculous like penetration by degrees ever since then. Since then, I've gotten 2 airbrushes. Practically every single panel on this goddamn Gundam has been customized, primed, painted. There are 30 LEDs in this fucking Zaku. It went out of control so rapidly. This hobby can really get away from you. Shit escalated faster than I can even explain. And every week or so, I'd watch these videos and I'd be like, wow, damn, this is how you do this. So like you have to like sand your paint and shit. All right, let's do that then. So it's a funny looking kit where like every section of it has like some different technique and stuff. So I don't know. That's kind of my story.
Let's say, but before I got into painting, I started my first real job. Then I was making minimum wage, but that's beyond the point. So I would make like $200 a week, right? And I just got into the hobby. So I think before I started painting, I think I had like 60 kits. Like, I kid you not. I bought like everything I could get. Like, if I got my hands on it and it looked remotely good, I bought it. Like, I didn't care how much it was.
That's amazing.
I think that's that son of a bitch.
That's how a lot of us started talking. Was we all started playing this Gundam game online, UC Go. Like the one guy that was in the page, he like introduced everybody to it. He's like, "Well, why don't we all talk on Skype together while we play?"
Nice.
And the Skype calls just turned into pretty much what we're doing right now.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
If you were on this page like 3 years ago, like when a lot of us first joined, it was literally just everybody busting Matt's balls about like, because he's constantly like, "Look, I bought another kit. Look, I bought another kit." It's like, bro, you didn't even know the 50 you have now. What are you doing?
It was terrible. See, I wouldn't have a backlog though. Like I convinced myself to not to have a backlog.
He'd be messaging me at work. He'd be messaging me at work. Be like, "So I think I'm going to buy this." I'm like, "Bro, you just bought something."
And I have nowhere to talk on that. I have like a 30 kit backlog right
Dude,
now.
you're huge ass. You saw that Dendrobium?
That's fantastic.
I have the
Dendrobium.
2 years ago. I have a lot of high grades that are like limited edition high grades. I have a bunch of
like Ricardo, like Ian's entire backlog is like P Bandai. Pretty much the most expensive Gundam kits you can buy.
That's wonderful. Of course, the P Bandai stuff. That's so fantastic. But you know, you guys are still not that bad. Like one of my buddies, who's actually in IPMS, so he mostly does military stuff. He actually does very few Gundams, but he has a 150 kit backlog.
Yo,
it's so bad. Like recently he moved, right? So I met him at an IPMS meet like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and I was just like, "Hey, dude, so how do you like the new apartment?" He's like, "Oh, it's great, man. I have plenty of space for my kits now." I'm like, "Wait, well, hang on. That's not like why you moved, right? You moved because like, you know, it's a condo and all that." She's like, "No, man, I had no room to move in my apartment. Like, no one could come over. There was no room for chairs. It was full of kids." Like, oh my god, you have issues, man. But yeah, that's the reality. Like some people have like 100+ kit backlog, and like there's something wrong with these people.
It's like
I think that's like a good. It's like Coke. I think it's one of the good things about me not living near Gundam Planet anymore. It's like, all right, I'm an hour away from like, pretty much every Gundam model on the planet. Like,
awesome.
Dude, we dragged Kenny up here to New Jersey to go to Gundam Planet. We'll bring you home. We'll bring you home.
He's done the 5-hour drive to come up there.
Jesus.
You just didn't have a prayer before. You used to live near Gundam Planet. That's bad news, man.
Yeah.
For a collector, that is that's like living right next to your dealer at that point. Good luck to you.
I think it's a good thing. I don't like. There's not a lot of hobby because I moved out of. I'm not in New Jersey anymore. I'm in North Carolina now, and I think it's kind of it's a blessing and it's a curse. Like, okay, I go on Amazon now. Oh, look, that's on sale. I'm gonna buy that.
Welcome to my world.
It's like I bought a battleship model a couple weeks ago, and it's like I've been like just looking at it. Like I painted like the hull, and I just like threw it back in the box. I'm like, I spent $77 on this. I should probably build it. It's like now I'm like buying all the detail parts for it. I'm like, why am I doing this? I still don't even want this kit.
That's why I like kit because you needed to buy a kit. Like that's why you bought it.
I had money in my pocket to burn, and
it was an impulse. And you're like, this looks somewhat okay. I mean, it's not terrible.
Yeah. See, that's the kind of stuff where I lucked out because, as Dane said, I have like a bunch of like hard to find kits in that other room.
Nice.
That's how I actually ended up doing that giveaway that made me an admin. Was it was the metallic coating high grade new Gundam kit.
Oh,
nice.
And when I bought it, it was an $18 kit.
That's awesome.
And when I asked them if we could like have a build off so I could just give it away because I never thought I'd build it, they're like, okay, cool. When Dane realized it was the metallic coating, he flipped his shit on me, and I went, "What's going on?" I looked it up. It was a $70 kit at that time. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, it was like
selling another kit.
it was like super out of print.
Damn.
God, it's like the
I had
Kapool.
no idea.
Dude, I want to. That's
Dude,
that's
that
something we should
Kapool.
that's something we should talk about. Our kits that we want, like in what grade?
I think
That'd be
just
something cool.
I need an Agu guy in any form.
it's so ugly though.
The
It
random
is.
Xeon kit. That's all I'm all about. The
Out
random
of the-
Xeon shit.
I
Out
love
of-
Xeon kits. Xeon kits are
I
so
want the
cool. They're
Agu
the
guy,
best.
the one that has the tentacle arms coming out of it.
Out of the MSV, the Agu guy is the worst thing I've ever seen. Like,
That was
it's
an
just terrible.
Agu guy. I don't think I've ever seen it. Do you mean the Act guy?
No,
Agu guy?
it's
No,
not.
the Agu
It is a
guy.
new one.
You need to
The
look
Agu
it up.
guy
It
is
was-
Agu guy?
it was
AGU.
just
Like a-
stated for like a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
It's like a hentai monster.
Hey, Kenny.
This
Dude,
thing looks totally retarded.
Kenny, just, you know,
it's
dude.
so bad just for that.
Kenny,
Like a
just
boomerang shaped
I
head.
think the Hangouts thing is like, it's got like a shift on where your camera is actually displaying and what actually displays on the screen when you talk. Literally, I can only see the bridge of
Yeah,
your
but you're
nose and your
talking,
eyes
it's
and
just
up
like
whenever you
this.
talk. That's it. Like, move a little lower, dude. A little lower.
Bring it. There you go. Get them
But
chopped.
That might be better.
I don't know. I think honestly, like I really want an RE100, Devil Gundam. I think that's probably a big one for me.
I'm getting.
No, you want a
mine.
bar. Barzam.
Awesome.
Because I mean, it's the perfect grade for something like that. It's big and stupid, but it won't cost a lot.
No
Like
matter
that-
what Dane says, he wants a Barzam.
Well, yeah, you know, how they finally announced the freaking high grade Barzam. I wanted it in a little bit bigger, but I'll deal with the high grade. I'm gonna buy like 7 of them.
Get a high god.
Now,
Use a high god in 1/100.
Yeah,
now, see, I lucked out because all I ever wanted was a high grade Gym Sniper 2, or no, a Master Grade Gym Sniper 2, because I was a huge fan of the
Here
White
we
Dingo
go.
Squad. Like, hold on, wait. I actually brought it over here just because of this. I have a Federation jacket.
Oh shit. Those are really hard to come by, and they're
With the
super
White Dingo
expensive.
patch on it.
Oh,
Damn.
that's so cool. That is so cool.
And so when they announced the White Dingo's high grade, I flipped my mind. I was like, I did it, and I got it. And then I saw the other White Dingo's high grades, the Gym 2 and the mass production gun cannon. I was like, I need that too, and I bought that. Then when
Nice.
they announced this Master Grade Gym Sniper 2, I pre-ordered it along with I have the ground type Gym Sniper Master Grade. I'm going to sacrifice every part from it that I can to convert that Master Grade Gym Sniper 2 to a White Dingo unit.
Oh, that's so cool.
And
That's a
I
really good
announced a
idea.
damn
actually.
Master Grade White Dingo unit. And I was like,
yeah.
Nice. What's it called? A white dingus? Did you say?
White
Dingo.
Dingus. No, Ian's the
Great
White
White Dingus. You got to know what you're talking about.
Dingo ate your baby.
Dingus.
It was like,
I think it's
There was a Dreamcast game, 0079 Rise from the Ashes. It was a first-person Gundam game, like it was cockpit view. And
Oh, that's
you played as the White Dingoes team based in Australia, and that's what that gym is from, and that's what the dark gray P Bandai gym and Gun Cannon 2 are from as
Light
well.
Wolf.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Cool.
I just like the look of the Wild Wolf. Let's see. There's a kit that I want. It hasn't been made yet. Shit. The Aqua Gym from Unicorn.
Yeah,
Oh,
you've been talking about that for a while.
yeah.
Dude, I want that. And then the
You and
a
Ricardo.
standard release of the Zaku Mariner,
Yeah,
like of a Master Grade Mariner. Like that's what I want.
yeah. There's a lot of cool like variants that they need to just. I
there's so
understand
many.
like there's so many just recolors they're doing. It's a shame because they're going to just. People keep complaining about recolors. It's like you understand they're only making recolors because there's so many people that just refuse to paint their kits.
Yes,
Like, if
that's
more
true.
people, if
Yeah.
more people, honestly, I really believe if more people painted their kits,
Yeah.
they would probably move away from that and start making more like variants.
Right.
That's the thing you don't like with the tank or even the airplane scene is they don't do a bunch of recolors because everybody just paints their stuff.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Those
That's
things come, like,
actually
straight
that's a
one
good point.
color
You're right
every
about that.
component.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's like
you
it's
can
like to
paint
me
whatever color you want.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
you want to design another one.
it's like Yeah, I mean that's with a lot
That's
of like
very
other
true.
model kit companies too. It's like just make the whole new packaging.
you get
People are
like
going
a-
to buy it regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually it's pretty interesting. It's a pretty it's a pretty cheap sort of strategy for Bandai because they just need to like inject a new color into the same
I was
mold.
like,
Most of them are the same
change
mold,
colors.
right? Change colors, and people will just be like, "Oh, this is fucking amazing."
Yeah.
Add like a part or two, and then you're good.
They
See, what
literally
I-
inject
what
the
I
same
said-
color into a new mold, and they take other molds from other kits to give you like the additional components,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
White
Yeah.
Dingo's gym, high grade, the whatchamacallit.
all the parts to make it the
comes with it
sniper.
is the hover truck that's from the Ground Battle Gundam Ground War set because it even comes
Yeah.
with components for the gym head for the Ground Battle Gundam.
Right. Right?
I'll
Can
say
we
all the
just
parts
go with
are
like White
perfect
Dingus
out there.
Gundam because it just
The White
sounds
Dingus.
White Dingus. Yeah, it just sounds
White
more-
Dingus sounds like a unicorn to me.
Yes. It's like a more original. It just sounds more. It just. It's like that.
Yeah, then you can slap a P Bandai sticker on it and charge double here in the States.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you ever enter GWBC, then you can just say, "Hey, man, this is the White Dingus," and you can maybe add a second cockpit if you want, and then it'll be an actual cockpit. It won't just be like a pilot station, or it'll be a cockpit. You know what I'm saying?
No, dude, that's the turn A.
And everything from Zone of the Enders.
Yes, and everything from Zone of the Enders. Exactly.
That's why I didn't play that game at first. I'm like, the cockpit's its dick. I'm not playing it.
I'm not entering a giant robot's penis. I'm just not gonna do it.
Oh come on, man! That's a game. That's a game. That's a man's. That's a man's mobile suit. He's sitting right where the action happens, baby.
Jesus Christ.
I thought this was a freaking family show.
Yeah, that went out the window real quick.
They're like
It's-
law, okay? They're more
Funny
like
story because
guidelines.
I remember being introduced by that game to like this little Asian kid that I met in college, and I never had a PS2. I was always like we're a Nintendo family, so I was playing Zelda and Mario, and so he had a PS2, and I was like, oh cool, maybe we'll hang out and play PS2 one day. He's like, yeah man, come over like on Friday. All right,
Using them for
I'm going to
PS2.
show you this really cool game called Zone of the Enders. And I'm like, huh, Zone of the Enders, never heard of it. He's like, yeah, it's awesome. Check it out. There's these big mechas, and you sit in their cock, and then you fight in space, and it's the best. And I was just like, whoa, that escalated quickly. This little Asian kid telling me about it.
Going back to the
not ready for
PlayStation
that.
2.
God.
I had my parents give me a PlayStation 2 for Christmas specifically so I could play Robotech Battlecry, and that was like the worst game ever made.
I had that game. I either played Robotech Battlecry or I played fucking.
I bought
I
that
played
game.
Star
Yeah,
Wars
no, Ian.
Battlefront.
I gave it to you.
Dun dun.
That game was so good, but it was so repetitive too. It's like, hey, we have to fend this guy off for 10 minutes. I don't know, the Gundam games in the PS2 are my favorite. I don't really care for like the Versus or
Best PS2.
like the Dynasty Warrior Gundam doesn't really do anything for me.
I tried playing one of them, and it's just so it's such a waste of the potential. Like you have these mobile suits that can fly in space, and they can have lasers and like all these awesome stuff and guns and everything. And it's like, okay, no, but screw you. You just run around and just melee people.
Yeah,
club
you're just-
people.
You knife
It's
everything.
so stupid.
You're just gonna run around and button mash for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's such a waste of the concept. I just
Probably
don't
the
get it.
best Gundam game I think I've ever played was Encounters in Space on the PS2.
That's why
Yes.
I wish that I had a Japanese PS3 because they're region locked. And
Are they? I thought they were.
yeah, PS3s were originally region locked when they first came out. I think later ones might not have been, but like all the early ones were.
Gotta love it.
And they couldn't actually even play discs from other countries. Like if you had a Japanese disc, it would not work in an American PS3 at all.
Yeah, I don't know why like console makers are like so into this exclusivity thing. Maybe it has to do with licensing or some stupid
Well,
shit like that.
Well, my
What's
buddy
one word
John,
for you?
It can only be hurting their sales. Like this is such a dumb thing. Like, okay, we're gonna make this
Capitalism.
feature, guys, that no one from anywhere else in the world can buy our shit because fuck them.
and they're losing out on a huge market there.
It's an illogical freaking thing to do.
That's like going back to the whole P Bandai thing. It's like everybody's like, oh, Bandai doesn't care about the U.S. It's like you're right. They're selling
their main
stuff
target
to
is Japan.
like their target audience is Japan. Like
We're
you
kind of
have to account the fact that you're an oddball. You like something from another country that they never intended for you to even see. Like if it wasn't for the internet, you wouldn't know what Gundam was.
See, I feel like the United States is kind of like an afterthought. They're like, all right, well, we'll design it for Japanese audiences, and then if those weird Americans want it, we'll give it to them. But if they don't,
because the internet. Pardon me. Toonami. Thank you.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. It's like, and that's the other thing too. Like, I think if Toonami was still weekdays, like it used to be back when Wing and G and the other Gundam series were actually on there, I think more people would have exposure to it. Because let's face it, not a whole lot of people. If you're staying up till like midnight, you're not sitting there just watching TV. You're like on the internet, online or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're using the TV for background noise at that point.
Yeah, I think if more people had exposure to like Gundam or whatever at a normal time, I think more people would know what it is. Because it's like I'll be talking about like this stuff, and people are like, "Oh yeah, I remember Gundam Wing." It's like, yeah, it's still on TV, and they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Well, it's a different series, but it's still Gundam." And they're like, "No way!" I'm like, "Yeah,
yeah."
Like people
was also like 20
that
years
was
ago.
it. Like that shit. Just like they thought that.
Yeah,
that was it, and that's all there ever was.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's not like Zoids.
It's not Zoids.
It's not Zoids.
Honestly, I think the biggest mistake that Cartoon Network did was putting Toonami on just Saturday nights. It's like,
yeah, that was a huge mistake.
I didn't even know it was still on.
Because I remember
like a year or two ago.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, I thought Toonami was like a dedicated station to like cartoons or something. I don't even have TV in my apartment.
It was only
I have a TV, but
Adult Swim.
It was when the adult cartoons came on.
Okay.
No,
so
not
like
even. Toonami was like an after-school like 2-hour block of like anime. Like the original Toonami lineup was like. Yeah, the original lineup for Toonami was like, it was Yu Yu Hakusho, Robotech, Gundam Wing, Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z,
Cowboy Bebop, Trigun.
Yeah.
I got
like all those shows were on there.
I didn't get into
Big O.
It also had Zoids. New Century Zero aired here in the States first, even though it was the third season. And then it had Gundam Wing, and then after Gundam Wing, I think the original series aired, and the Mess Team also aired on Toonami.
Yeah.
Didn't they take it down because of 9/11?
I brought up the region lock console thing though was because I was going to say before that a really, really, really good mech genre game that literally it crosses over like every mech genre anime that you can think of was Another Century's episode series. It crosses over Gundam, Eureka 7, Robotech, Macross. It crosses over like everything, and it's
Transformers.
No, they didn't have Transformers, I don't think.
God damn it. Oh, you lost me.
Dice.
Zach Granny asked on the American page, what is our opinion on painting real grade frames? To that I say you're brave.
But yeah, you've got balls that big.
And look for the footage of me blowing up the RX-78. That's my thoughts on real grades.
If you've got balls that big, I commend you on that one.
Right. So, he does a lot of the clear expo stuff, which I give him credit for, because I hate working with just clear kits in general. Like I'm working on the G Self right now, and like all the clear blue is driving me nuts. And I'm gonna be painting it metallic blue.
From what I've heard, there's actually on the real grades, there's actually not enough of a there's not enough of a gap between this is a high grade. There's not enough of a tolerance engineered into the kit where it allows for the movement to work if it's been painted even with one coat. So if you've even primed your real grades frame, apparently you're totally hosed. Just don't do it would be the answer. But I think on high grades and on master grades, that's not an issue because there's more tolerance, there's more gap is what I've been told. But mind you, I've never actually built a real grade. I received one as a gift from a friend, and it was the real grade Zaku. And not the real grade Zaku. It was a real grade Zeta. Okay, and started building this thing, and I was like,
transformation.
this is just a pile of crap, and I want nothing to do with this. And yeah,
it's very well known that I personally don't like real grades. But I will say, if you do want to build a real grade, the best
Mark
two
II.
again, for the Mark II hands is very, very sturdy and solid. The Mark II and the 00 Riser, which was
The
surprisingly
Double Riser,
really nice kit.
I built the Zagok one, and I liked it. It was pretty nice. Wasn't too
Yeah, the
fiddly. So.
Zagok, that one is the one that got me back into the real grade line. Enjoyed the real grade Zagok, and I painted the Atom framer on that one, and it just made everything real tight. It made it feel more solid. That's what I That's what I didn't really care for the real grades. You just felt real flimsy. But
I just don't buy them because they're almost $40.
That Zagok is that's a sturdy son of a bitch. And yeah, that was a fun kit. Yeah, I highly recommend that kit.
Yeah. I'm actually looking forward
I
to.
hate that line.
I really do want the gold frame though.
The gold frame.
That yeah. Well, it's like it's also very well known that I'm not a very big Seed fan, like at all.
Who is?
But a lot. Yeah.
The lighting that was all gone. It was because I put the blanket up over the window. Yes, my face was bad.
Ian's gonna burn his house down.
Yeah.
But
Now I can handle this like this.
Actually, Zion House has a question on YouTube. He wanted to know if what's everyone's hard on about the GMs. So how do you guys feel about GMs?
Grunt suits.
Yeah. I don't know.
I like the grunt kits.
I love grunt suits. Grunt suits are so good.
grunts are good. Grunts are good.
Yeah, I like grunt suits a little bit more than like main character Gundams, especially like just the super overpowered stuff. I don't know. It's like it kind of gets repetitive, like just seeing all these like super robo.
Yeah.
With the gyms, it's easier to make it more of a realistic like looking.
If you see a clip of a Gundam like posing half of the Xeon fleet, it's expected.
Yeah.
Gegan going toe to toe like 20 versus 1 and kicking ass.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think there's also like there's a lot of it's a little bit more surprising and unexpected because you expect the grunt suits to be like pretty much just plebby and weak, but then when you have something like like a big gun Zaku or something, and this guy's like taking out entire spaceships, you're what the hell? This is Zaku. That's crazy.
That's like the perfect example of like with the Thunderbolt. It's like you don't have to have. It's like okay, just because you have the uber strong machine doesn't mean you're a good pilot.
That's
like,
it.
If you really think about it, that full armor Gundam got the ever living crap kicked out of it.
Yeah, totally.
By a modified Zaku with a bunch of guns.
Pretty much.
If you literally think about it, it was just a.
Yeah, you know what I think it is?
Ability Zaku.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's the same appeal as comparing a supercar to like a properly, modified
exactly.
supercar.
Like
it's like, whoa, how is this like ordinary machine keeping up with all these hardcore prototype, like machines that are worth way more than,
You could buy a $1.4 million Bugatti Veyron, but at the end of the day, I'd rather have a $1,500 Fox Body Mustang with a Chevy small block in it. Going even faster in a quarter mile.
It has that like.
People don't understand. You could build a retardedly fast race car like cheap.
Oh yeah,
with junkyard parts.
We have broken into. Whoa, we have guests.
Hello.
Hello.
What's this?
This is Kyle from Washington State Gunpla.
Oh, hey, Kyle.
Hey.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome to us with the American page. Yeah,
Hopefully I'm not interrupting.
No, that's okay. We were talking about grunt suits and why we love grunt suits.
And then we start talking about Bugattis and cars and small blocks.
That's easy one. Grunt suits are awesome.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, especially like with I don't know. It's just there's just more variants of like grunts that could like.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. It's like you can see like the the RX-78 so many times. It's like, all right, I'd rather see like a ground type Gundam with special equipment on it and like EZ8 and stuff is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bring in the Zaku.
Yeah. Plus, it's cool.
Oh yeah, bring in the I mean, the
with
Zaku
like
you
field
got, the
modification.
Zaku 2, the Zaku cannons, the Zaku tank. You got
Yeah.
the Mariner Zaku.
There's
Like,
so much variability. There's so many variations of one very, very basic kit. And like a classic example, I think, is like when recently someone on, I think it was on a Malaysia forum or something, he posted an entire row of all of his RX-78s, and he had all of them. He had like 7 or 8 of master grades lined up, and you really like, you're straining to tell the difference between one and the next one. They all have basically the same weapons. They have pretty much the same like same armor and the same configuration and the same colors, and it's just like, okay, but like you must really like your RX-78s because they all look totally the same.
I tried building the entire RX-78 line with the original. Like I built a 3.0. I did it in a 1.0 color, in the G1 colors. I had a 2.0. I was gonna get a Vercon and paint it like the G3, and then I have the old G04 and G05 master grades, and I'm like, all right, I think I'm just gonna stop here.
That's why I really liked your whatchamacallit build, Dan. I think it's the Origins one that you painted to look like the test prototype unit.
Yeah,
it's actually on your shelf right behind you.
Yeah.
I feel like after a while you can build so many Gundams, but they all pretty much use the same colors. Like, all right, you got your whites, your blues, your yellows, and your reds. Like, it's pretty much what you got. But then like you go to like a Zaku and it's solid green. You go to a Goof and it's solid blue, and you're like, okay.
Oh god, microphone is getting choppy.
But
so I think that's why I like the Origin version of the RX-78 so much, and why I jumped on getting that, because it is different. I mean.
Yeah.
How many people told me to, like, you put the shield on upside down? It's like, you clearly haven't read the books.
So you clearly haven't made sense of the fact that it works better that way.
Yeah, you think about it. I mean, yeah, that's how the shield should be held.
The Origin suits are really cool, actually. They're very detailed. Especially, I think my favorite one is the Origin gun cannon. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
It's the Origin gun tank that I'm thinking of, not the Origin gun cannon. Gun tank is really cool. It's really
and the later type is actually even cooler looking, I think.
They saw about that Dom prototype.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's really nice too. I like that one too.
I got the prototype Zaku, the Dom legs from HMS team, but it's based off the Origin kit, so that's going to be exciting.
Nice. Hey, have they released the Origin kits in master grades, or are they mostly in high grades right now?
The only Origin kit master grade they have right now is the RX-78.
I thought so.
It's coming out soon, though.
I would like to see, but here's the thing too: like the Origin Zakus are actually different than the book version, by like a lot. Like the machine guns on the in the book version are belt fed instead of having the drum on the top.
Huh.
They have like wrist Vulcans. There's just a lot of the mobile suits are just a lot different. Yeah.
I like how Kyle comes in here and he starts remaining very quiet, and he's just in there building. And he's just like, "Nice job showing us up, dude." Way to go.
I'm just enjoying you guys talking. Don't judge me.
You should give a listen.
Interesting.
We are the background noise.
Besides, you know, I'm excited. I got my Black Friday Gunpla, so you know.
Ooh, what'd you get? What'd you get?
I am very happy. I was telling these guys last time I was on. I managed to get my hands on an MG Camphor.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Somebody actually in the Gunpla Builders admin chat just posted. He's like, I think I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah. No, I am super pumped. I love this kit since I was like a little kid. So.
Yeah.
That's definitely old master grades are just better than new ones, anyways.
Yeah,
I personally love old master grades, and like people are like, "Oh, it's so old and it's crappy." It's like, just give them a tiny bit of love, and it can be such a nice kit. Like,
I completely agree.
Feeling to them,
like if your master grade has to be
different.
If your master grade has to be held together by screws, like it comes with physical screws to hold the joints together, that is the best kit.
Yeah, and that's the thing that so many people complain about that. I'm like, why? It's sturdier. Like, I really want to get the old G kits. What's it
Actually,
called?
I don't think I've seen a single G Gundam Gunpla kit.
They made
somehow.
they made God
made
Gundam,
them,
Shining Gundam, and
Noble.
the German one. I'm gonna
Oh,
go with
MG, you're saying?
Spiegel.
yeah.
Yeah, Spiegel.
Eagle.
I was gonna say I have the God Gundam with his
They have,
horse.
they made the Maxter. No, not the Maxter.
They need to make a freaking Maxter.
Yeah, they do.
What they need.
Kyle, do you mean the Master
What?
Gundam with its horse?
Oh yes, sorry, Master Gundam with his horse.
did they make that in a master grade?
Negative. It was only a high grade.
What they need to make is the freaking Dragon Gundam.
Yeah.
Where it's
Honestly, I'd like to see the whole Shuffle Alliance in master
like,
grade.
even if it's like a high grade form, I mean, I'll be okay with that. Just to get them in some form of plastic to have.
Somebody kit bashed an old no grade 1144 Maxter with a GPO 1.
Oh, that'd be
And that shit looked really good.
What's that?
But yeah.
It was very good.
Okay, thoughts on kit bashing? I've never done any kit bashing, and I've seen some cool kit bashing, but I've also seen a lot of like really like fugly and weird like kit bashing where it's like nothing's been painted, and I don't know, like I don't feel like I get the whole kit bashing.
I'm into it if it flows.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Flows
that's a
well,
big thing.
then by all means.
Our
Okay.
Gundam builders did, Gunplot builders did in the beginning of the year, or midway through the year, we did a build off that was like a battle style. So there was teams of 3.
Okay.
And Ian walked away. Ian was on my team, and we did what's it called? All of our suits were based off Hazel's, but they were like heavily kit bashed. It's a shame Ian's not here right now because, but yeah, I mean, it depends on how you do it. Like I said, though, it's got to flow because you see a lot of people taking super Fuminas and try bashing them with other Gundam kits. It's just like, what did you do?
Yeah.
The proportions
There's
are
some
so off.
cool Fuminas out there though. Like I've seen a really nice like a Sengoku Fumina, I think, or something like that.
Like, here's mine from that competition.
Yeah.
The Alex
This was a Hazel 2 that I took out the legs off of John from his Hazel Advance to make it have the bulky legs. It's a Jim Striker shield. I don't even know where I got the Gatling gun from, to be honest with you.
I think
I
those
got
were those
pistols
parts that I
from-
gave you.
I have that on my gun cast.
That looks good. That actually looks pretty good. I like the way that looks. It's nice.
Yeah.
I've kit bashed a little. Probably the one I did was my atmospheric flight type ball that's at Gundam Planet right now.
Yeah, dude, that ball's still there and it looks badass in the display.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, it's in the display case.
Kenny and his balls.
I've
You have
done
a, you have
lot
a
of kit
ball on
bashing,
display at
yeah.
Gundam Planet. That's
Yeah.
quite. That's
Yeah.
quite
He's
amazing.
got a lot of
Oh, very
balls.
cool.
I do more like kit bashing or like backpacks and shit like that. Like I did a GM. Shit, it's right here. Let me get it.
I don't think I've ever.
Yeah, I did
ever done a kit bashing.
That's the backpack on the GM that I did. Just a
Yeah.
bunch of
I'll
shit
show
that I
you.
had laying around.
Yeah, I don't think I did kit bashing.
Kenny, you got to raise it up a little bit more, man.
Yeah, that'll lower your camera.
Where am I going?
Yeah, it wasn't showing up on your camera. Oh, is that the Valkyrie?
Okay.
The tier looking thing.
I'm gonna send
Yeah, I
you.
had the shoulder armors are from a Tyran. It's complete fucking just a bunch of shit I had laid around. Just slice it all together, and yeah, there it is.
Here, I'm gonna send you a kit bash I started doing. I was going for a Kankoli themed Super Fumina.
Oh, jeez.
It's still in pieces.
That could actually work though. I feel like I can call it because it's very much in the same vein, right? Like it's your
It was
mobile
also, like,
suit kind of.
Yeah, it was also the first time I ever did some scratch building. It was I'm just gonna send it in the chat for the video. It was I bashed it with an old Revell USS Missouri kit.
Oh, awesome! That's really sweet.
I just posted it in the chat for a second.
You could probably do a screen share and show us if you wanted to, but that might be complicated.
Yeah, I'd rather not break the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that atmospheric ball, it can be. You can see that it's on the Team Carbon page on Facebook.
That's what I was actually just looking for just now.
Team Carbon.
Oh, I think I see your Fumina here. I can
it's on
share
top
it
of
for you.
Actually, I did the action base that's sitting there, and I did a surface-to-air missile attached also with a bunch of parts I had laying around.
All right, so this is the one that he's talking about. This actually looks really awesome. This is so cool.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened to her dress. I guess you kind of
I didn't throw it up.
did away with that because I mean.
No, this was like,
We don't know how
still like a
Dave
major. Yeah.
So, but it looks really cool. I love the cannons that you mounted like here on the edges and stuff. That looks really awesome.
Yeah.
And,
I kind of ran out of steam with that one. I'm still trying to think where I really want to go with it.
Oh, it looks good though. It looks good. Sometimes it's good to like snap something together and then like take some time to sort of decide like what you want to do with it before like rushing into committing to one paint scheme or something like that. So I did that with my Zaku. Like I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do, and then I realized that one thing that I could do with painting is I could get a really cool like brushed steel effect with hand brushing, and that's what I ended up doing. Like some of the parts that are painted gunmetal are like they look like brushed steel, and it looks kind of cool. I just kind of figured it out as I went along, kind of thing. So sometimes that can work. But it looks really cool. In fact, one of the interesting things that I was thinking about, I watched this thing, actually Japanese show about model building called Plamo Tsukuro Custom. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that.
No, I never heard of that.
It's all in Japanese, and it's these master builders, these guys that write for like Hobby Japan magazine or like Dengeki Hobby and stuff like that. So these are some old timers, like using old school techniques. They're in these tiny apartments and like airbrushing, and there's like no ventilation to speak of.
Beams
There's
everywhere.
beams everywhere.
That's all I used to do.
They're hardcore, and so there's this one guy who showed how to scratch build a garage kit, and those are basically so these are the guys that make the molds for like the those like cute figures. So like it was of like this anime girl holding an airbrush as though it was like a giant gun. It was really cool. It looked amazing. Like she was really cute and everything. And but this guy was scratch building it. Like he actually built the mold and everything. And just for painting like the eyes, holy crap! That's like you have to be an artist to be able to paint the eyes. So that's something I realized that like I could probably airbrush most of a character model, but I wouldn't know where to begin for the eyes. That's a huge challenge.
That's something I always had a major problem with. Especially, like I said, I used to do a lot of 40K stuff, and it's like when you start getting into really small details, it starts getting real complicated.
Yeah, I figure. Oh, hey, I've seen this atmospheric type on the net on one of the websites.
Yeah, I just threw it up in the chat.
Yeah. This thing looks awesome. I didn't realize that you built it. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
That's probably one of my best things I've ever did. Between that and the junkyard dog.
Yeah.
Dude, that
This
thing
is
I
really
still
cool.
love that thing more than anything else. I really do.
It's totally awesome. Where did you get the wings off of? Is that from a Zeta or something?
The wings are they're Gundam builder parts.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's the wing set from the Gundam builder parts, and that
Really
whole
cool.
deal was basically a dare from my local hobby town. They said I couldn't make a ball cool, so I had to prove them wrong.
So of course he made them all totally beast mode. We have a new person.
Yeah, I love it.
Hey, Jerome.
Hey, Jerome, you made it. What's up, man?
Yeah. How's it going?
Welcome back to the podcast. Well, to the live stream, I guess.
Yeah.
So on one of the comments, Zach Raney, I think it's Rainey. Forgive me if I just butchered that name, but the thing he did, it looks amazing. It's probably one of my favorite ones. I followed it as he was building it, and it looks like a 12-piece next to the Stein. Like that.
Oh,
that is probably my
yeah.
favorite thing
Yes.
I've ever seen. Scratch build wise, I really like how
Yeah,
it
thing's
looks.
outstanding. I remember when he was still building it.
Also, yeah, when
I think
it's
One of the most impressive scratch builds though that I've seen in a while. The kid just recently joined Gumbot Builders. He scratch built a 1/100 Iron Blooded Orphans kit.
Ooh.
I forget the name of it. It was one of the pink one. There was a pink and a blue one. Yeah. This kid scratch built it. He based it off of Toggy's frame.
Oh, scratch building,
I'm gonna see if I can find it on the page, but I mean, it was really like just impressive.
Yeah, there's some really good scratch building that can be done, but if you're not good at it, it can quickly get out of hand. Like I tried it once. I think it should have been like a katana or something, and it was just terrible. It was bad. Kind of looked like a toothpick.
Yeah,
just like a big toothpick.
Yeah, scratch building is not easy. It's.
I don't have the attention span for it.
No, heck no.
Yeah. Also, you need a lot of really, really intense specialty tools and stuff, like molds and like this weird putty and stuff. Like you need a lot of really, really specialty equipment to really build something.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm learning now with photo etch is like you need the proper. There's like tools to like bend the photo etch and stuff because if not, you're just gonna wreck it.
Yeah, that's right. It's really not. It's not so easy. It's not as sort of easy as it looks. It turns out. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not so crazy about scratch building. I would personally start with like maybe a diorama or something like something where there's some margin for error, although I have seen some really cool products out there for like parts replication and stuff like that. One of my buddies has this really cool paste that he bought. He imported it from Japan from Amazon, and it's really interesting. It's basically it's like a putty. Okay, so it's sort of more almost like it looks like a sticky tack, like it's this like putty type stuff. And so what you do is you put it in hot water and it softens, and then you can you take it out, and then you can take any random part and create a mold for that part, and then it hardens when it gets to room temperature. And so then you snap it apart, and then you can pour in some putty, I guess, and then like you can make any part, right? But the amazing thing about this material is that when you put it in hot water again, it becomes all malleable, and you can mush it right back into a paste.
Is it that stuff that's like those beads, or no? Am I thinking of something else?
Well, you're thinking of thermoplastic. No, that stuff doesn't become remalleable once it hardens.
Yeah, no, I don't know about. I honestly don't know what it's made of. It's some kind of like exotic material of some kind. It's really cool. But I think you would need a lot of like very specific stuff to you know what I mean? To build decent things from scratch.
You guys are talking about like specialty tools and stuff, and we've all seen a pair of tweezers like these, right? Where they're soft.
Yeah.
Well, try using ones like these.
Whoa.
Do you want to know what this actually is?
Those things that like pull SIM cards are like SIM trays.
This is actually this is a heat sink.
What?
It is a heat sink that you use for soldering very, very tiny, delicate electronic components. My uncle's an electronic engineer at the place I work at, and he was like, "Oh, you build models and stuff. Here, you can probably use these," and he just gave them.
Damn, that Hyakuren actually looks really, really nice.
Yeah, I'm trying. My computer's just loading really slow for some reason.
My computer's having some load issue with since Kyle and Jerome are joined in as well. I guess my computer's just not used to this app.
Go for so many people.
Yeah, because it also caused Matt to start breaking up on his voice, for me at least.
Yeah, actually, guys, it says that it's a bitrate issue, that it's streaming at a low bitrate, and the only issue is that I can't. Google Hangouts doesn't let you change the bitrate. It just goes automatically with whatever the internet connection between all of us.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like it doesn't let me crank up the bitrate or anything. I could do that if we were using some other software, but I think it's too complicated. Hangouts is the only feasible.
Yeah, Hangouts is supposed to be very user friendly, which is why it's like we're not going to even throw those options at you.
Bye, Lenore.
Okay. Zach said when he actually put in that was a Tallgeese, a Stein, and then a Delta Plus. Like that's what he used to do.
Yeah. It's just super impressive.
Right?
That's
It's sick, super clean.
I'm using my camera.
Do you guys have a picture of that?
Oh yeah.
I shared it in the chat.
Oh, we didn't.
Hello, little one. Hello, little one. Hello.
I'm talking to some people.
Oh, that's legit. And he scratch built all that?
No, that's actually a kit bash. For what, the Shockerman or?
No, all the outer armor is pretty much scratch built.
That's crazy.
He's using the Tallgeese as the
That's
base.
really legit.
All right, I'm going to be
Okay,
right back.
so this
keep
is
an eye
something
on
from
it.
Iron Blooded? It doesn't look familiar. Like it doesn't look like anything I've seen in Iron Blooded.
It was just another one of those. Yeah, it was just one of those.
They used it for a couple episodes, but then they switched to something else.
Yeah.
Once they got there, they switched. Yeah, they switched.
It was another one of those mobile suit of the week things.
That thing looks
like-
really legit. It looks so awesome.
Like that way.
A lot of this stuff is doable with plot plate, though. Plot plate tends to be like the magic material to go with if you're gonna do like custom, like extra armor panels and things like that.
You just really need to know what you're doing when it comes to that.
Yeah, you really need to know what you're doing. Like I haven't really done anything with plot plate yet, but I've gotten some sheets of 2mm and 1mm plot plate. And I've also got a styrene saw. So I have some of the materials that you need, but I was sawing something unrelated, like for my spray booth. Like one of the vent covers was in plastic, so I used the saw for that. And I realized pretty early on that, you know what, if you want a nice clean cut, you actually need that like holder thingy that they make for when you're sawing. So give me 1 second, guys. No, I guess I'll just go over.
You guys use a vent? I don't use a vent.
I think Kenny dropped off.
So so yeah, like there's like this holder thingy which has like these it has like basically 6 slots for depending.
Oh, a miter box.
Yeah, miter box. Exactly. To keep your cuts really straight, because it's the actual saw that'll tend to bend on its own.
Yeah.
So first I figured I wouldn't need one because they're not like, I figured they'd just be like a couple of bucks or something, but
they're only like $3.
Yeah, well, not where my hobby shop sells them for like $10 for a miter box.
Oh, you can get them at Hobby Lobby has them.
Yeah, Hobby Lobby has these ones for like $5.
Yeah, you can use their you can use their what's it called? Their little 40% off coupon too, so you can get it a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I might just order a bunch of stuff then from Hobby Lobby and see.
That's where I went to get my airbrush. I got my Iwata Neo there, and I used a little 40% off coupon.
Yeah, that's where I got mine at too.
Nice.
Hobby Lobby is the unsung hero.
Yeah, I just wish they carried better paints. Like, don't get me wrong, I love using testers paints because I guess I'm just, I built car models my whole life. But like, I really need to find a local place that's got Tamiya paint, man.
That's weird. Hobby Lobby, was it like Lex Tech paint or something like that? It's like hot rod paint.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Pre-fit for the airbrush and everything too, from what I saw.
Interesting.
Like I said, up in Jersey, there was 2 local hobby stores which carried a ton of Tamiya stuff, which was nice. And then obviously Gundam Planet had the Mr. Hobby stuff, which was cool. And then there was a place in Red Bank, right across the street from Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, called Hobby Master, and they stocked a lot of Alkalad, which was very nice.
Wow.
Yeah. I use mostly Tamiya, and I've started using Mr. Hobby recently too. Mr. Color paints are really nice. Like you get
I love lacquer paints.
Especially lacquer paints are beautiful, but the only thing is that you need a lot of their own lacquer thinner. I find I haven't tried using like lacquer thinner from a hardware store, but I tried one time cleaning my airbrush out.
That's what I use. I use that to clean my airbrush and all my tools and stuff.
Oh, nice, and it works just fine with like the Mr. Hobby paints. It cleans out your tools and everything.
Yeah, if I'm painting, what's it at? Hold on, I got like a bajillion jars underneath the table.
I use that generic
This is what I use to thin my.
Mr. Color.
Yeah, exactly. The Mr. Leveling Thinner. That stuff is a little pricey though. I find like it's.
Yeah, I get it at Gundam Planet. It's like $13 for a bottle, I think.
Okay, that's not that bad. Yeah, they sell it for about 20 Canadian at my local shop. So it's
I realized what's it called? Amazon's a little bit more expensive when it comes to those paints.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm going up to New Jersey next weekend, and I'm planning on picking up a ton of paint and stuff when I'm up there. Because like I said, my supply is dwindling slowly.
Yeah,
I've been doing a lot of battleship and military kits lately, so I ran out of like every different form of gray that I had.
It's that generic.
The Bean is trying to say something on chat. FYI.
All right. Okay.
I'm back.
You're back.
Yeah,
I'm back.
I had to hit the head and I had to take the dog out too.
But that generic water, that generic lacquer thinner, it doesn't work. I would say it works pretty well for what you pay for, because I think I paid like $4 or $6, something like that, and I got the huge thing of it. And I just moved it from that to like a little spray bottle kind of. And it works. I mean, I've never tried the Mr. Hobby stuff because that's just at my price range because I'm a broke college student. But
the Mr. Hobby, I would say, it gives you a slightly more predictable. It's mainly, I guess honestly, I only really noticed the difference when I was brush painting, because when I brush painted Tamiya, it's very difficult to brush paint. It's very difficult if you don't have paint retarder, which is expensive. Like paint retarder is maybe like $10 for a tiny bottle like this. It's very hard. It self levels like slower than it dries. It dries too fast. So this is a problem with Tamiya paints. But for airbrushing, I haven't noticed as much of a difference. To be honest, there's not a huge.
Honestly, I put a little bit of rubbing alcohol in my Tamiya paint to thin it down instead of the retarder. I find that works perfectly fine.
Really? That's interesting. I've heard about the rubbing alcohol thing, like something like 75%.
I think I use
medical alcohol. Interesting.
But, I mean, I have so many different kinds of paints. I recently fell in love with the MIG stuff.
Oh, the MIG armor paint.
Jealous. I love the MIG stuff.
Yeah, because I use that a lot of that. I bought the snow weathering kit for my most recent build, that Zaku sniper. Well, I got the snow weathering kit. I got it on eBay because it was cheaper on there, believe it or not, than anywhere else. But I get it, instead of sending me a jar of white paint, they sent me a jar of gunmetal. I'm like, yep, that's gonna help.
A little bit different, yeah.
Yeah.
We swear to you, this is winter camouflage. Promise.
But their chipping effect stuff is really nice, though. I'm gonna probably start using that a lot more than the salt chipping I used to do.
Okay, so I was curious about that. How does their chipping solution work?
You pour it right into the airbrush and you spray, and it sprays it like in kind of chunks, almost like little blotches.
I've never heard about this miracle material. What is this?
So I didn't read it right in the bottle. I just did one quick spray. You're supposed to do 3 layers, and the layers build up, and it makes more chips.
I didn't see the sponge.
Yeah, well, pretty much you spray the stuff on the whole kit, then you paint it the next color you want, and you take pretty much a wet paintbrush. You have to use like an acrylic on the top because it's water based, and you just like rub it around a little bit, and it'll start chipping off a lot of the upper layers. It works. It works really good, especially like next time. I got a tank model that I painted. I'm gonna attempt to try the winter stuff on that, see if I can like perfect for the next Gundam kit, because I did the Zaku 1 sniper in like a German winter tank paint scheme. I plan on getting the Jim Sniper Master Raid. I'm going to be doing an American tank in the same like winter camo. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
All right, so Abdel asked, how should I go about weathering a desert-themed kit? I'm making a desert-themed MG Nemo with the shading as well.
Get it? Put some gasoline on it and light it.
That's terrible, Kenny.
Oh god.
Abdel knows we're messing with
You
him.
got a gun, you can fucking shoot it a couple times.
I thought that's how you did like the atmospheric re-entry weathering.
I do think
Just
it's
lighting on
light it
fire.
and see what happens.
I straight. I'm gonna just pull whatever fire.
See, with that though, it's all in how you do it. It's all like how you layer your weathering powders. I think. There's again, MIG makes stuff for desert. They make literally weathering kits for any type of what you're trying to do. So there's tons of tutorials online too. I like everything I learned how to do paint my gunpla wise. I learned from YouTube videos.
Ooh, is this a Zaku sniper? Yeah. This is a Zaku sniper, right? That's a master grade.
Yeah, it's a resin conversion of a 2.0 Zaku.
Yeah, I've seen this resin conversion. This thing looks so cool. I love it. It's awesome. I'm pretty sure I've seen this on Gunpla.
I posted that thing everywhere. Yeah.
I have a question for you. These like 3 points that you see here, like on the front armor, like on the these 3 dots. Did you drill those in with a pin vise, or were they there?
They were molded in, and they were kind of deep, but I took a pin vise and just went all the way through. It would look better that way.
Yeah, I really like deepening the little rivets and stuff too. Like you really got to give it a little bit more, kind of texture and stuff. It looks awesome.
Yeah,
I think
that's why I used a lot of that weathering on that.
And that chipping was with the MIGs.
Yeah, like I said, I only did 1 layer. I should have done 3. It would have been a completely different look. Because if you actually look at that, I actually painted it in its full-blown camouflage before I even went over that. Like I had a legit paint job on it, and then I went over it again. I've been using a lot of stuff that I would normally use on aircraft models on my Gundam kits to paint them. I think it comes out a little bit nicer actually.
Also with weathering, like it doesn't have to be like super over the top for it to look somewhat good. Because that Dom that I did a couple months, I think it was like 2 months back, something like that. I did a Dom, and it did the digital camo scheme on it, and I just lightly weathered it, and I think it turned out somewhat decent. I mean, all I did was just take a sponge and just dab around with a sponge and just do a couple paint things. It didn't look too bad, so.
And there's Ian playing with a snake. Ian,
I think I just got.
Whoa! The snake is all over you, man. That's that's some really rad camo.
He decided that she wanted to come out, and so I brought her out, and she immediately attached herself to my face.
Wow.
All right, off my glasses.
All right. So.
Another technique that I've seen done. Ooh, this is really cool. Wait, so hang on. This is the original desert camo before you started with the chipping?
Yeah.
You're joking. It's like completely different. It looks it looks so pristine and perfect.
No, I painted the whole kit. Yeah. I painted the whole kit like that, like essentially like a German Tiger tank.
Wow.
And, and then I got the weathering stuff and I sprayed all the stuff on it and I went over it. And,
oh man, it's so perfect though. It looks so pristine and like fresh from the factory.
That's what people were like. Somebody was like, "Oh man, this paint scheme looks good, but why didn't you do more color separation?" It's got the detail. I'm like, "You're not going to be able to notice any of that by the time I'm done with it."
You're not going to be able to see any of that.
Yeah, you went to town on this thing. So like, wait, so you did your chipping stuff, and then you coated it with like some like whitish kind of milky.
Yeah. I literally just real thin, real light coats of Tamiya, just flat white.
And
then I got this other stuff.
Was that to give it a snowy kind of look, or just like a worn out kind of?
I wanted to go for a snow camouflage look, like a very. If you've ever seen like a picture of like a German tank from World War II, they were very hastily painted for snow use.
That works. That's a pretty awesome look. I almost feel like building a resin conversion just to like get this exact look again. So because at least you took a picture of it, and a good one too, because it just looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I mean, it was
conversions are fun.
Yeah, they're definitely something. I mean, that's only the second time I've done a resin kit. My first one, it was a Goof Custom I did. It was based off the 2.0 Goof frame. But it was a crappy, very crappy recast. That's the problem. You really got to pay attention where you're buying your resin conversions from. Because I mean, if you just wing it and get one off of eBay, you're going to get like 90% of the time something that needs a ton of work to look decent.
When I bought that Zaku 1, that Rambo Rao version, the head wouldn't fit on the, like, I had to cut out of, like, the resin part wouldn't fit on the plastic frame, so I had to cut off literally about, no joke, about half of that, so the head's just like hollow, just because it wouldn't fit under the resin, because the resin was cast so badly and it was just so small.
Yeah, that's like that the Zaku kit. I did. It actually had leg armor that came with the kit that was more squared off, but the casting was so like bad it just didn't fit.
You really got to pay attention to where you get that stuff from. Especially if you're spending a couple $100, like that Evelyn Kshatriya, that 1/100 scale one. You really got to pay attention to where you get that from.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've heard there's a lot of faking going on in like the online the stuff that's being sold on Amazon. From what I've heard, like a lot of people are getting stuck with like Chinese knockoffs and stuff like that. Have you guys had any issues with knockoffs or anything along those lines?
I honestly
I've never gotten burned getting anything.
I don't really mind. I don't really mind bootleg stuff personally. I'm not one of those that's going to get pissed off because, in the end of the day, it's your money. Just buy what you want. I've bought bootleg. Well, technically, I just finished a Bismarck model. It was an Academy one, and it was literally a knockoff of the Tamiya one, and there was honestly no difference between. It was the same thing. Even all the aftermarket parts fit on it the exact same way.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so it was like a pretty good knockoff then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hearing good things about the band Phoenix though. I'm hearing really good things about that.
Yeah, did you see my unboxing of it though?
No.
It's not too bad, but like it's visibly a knockoff. Like there's a lot of swirls in the surface finish, and not only are there swirls, but they're like kind of
wavy almost.
Wavy, like it's not the surface of the panels are not nice and flat like the Bandai panels. So you won't notice like if it's on your shelf or whatever. Like even if you're 4 feet away from it, you're not gonna be able to notice. But if you're if you're a hardcore obsessive compulsive builder, you're not gonna have a good time with those.
I look at it this way: if you sink enough time into anything, it'll look good, regardless of who made it.
Right. No, you're right. But it's just that in this case, it was like a metallic coated kit, right? So like, what's the if you're getting it, it's not metal.
See, that's the thing. I
really doesn't matter.
I wish Bandai offered a non-plated version of the Phoenix, like they did with the Hyakushiki, the 1.0.
Right.
They came with a Balut pack version.
Yeah,
it was just molded in yellow.
So you had the yellow one and the shiny gold one.
It was literally the same price for the same kit, but you got the Balut pack with it, which is a P Bandai $30 thing, or you could get the Hyakushiki for $44 or something like that. It was cheap.
That's awesome.
And I painted it with Alclad pale gold, and I'm not really big into the super blingy plated gold personally.
Yeah, that's why people are turning to Daban now because they don't have like it's not like a chrome gold. It's just
it's more like the 2.0 Hyakushikis. It's like a brushed gold almost.
Oh yeah, actually, it's a nice gold. It's pretty nice. There's another thing. Their painting process, their spray painting process, has a little bit of their paint is not perfect. There's some little dots here and there.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of work that you would need to do to smooth out. But that's not like the big issue with it. It's the major issue was really with the swirls and stuff. Like if you're a perfectionist, that is probably going to drive you crazy. But if you're willing to buy the Daban kit just for the sake of having something that is like a third the price or whatever, you're going to do your own custom paint job anyway, I would say go for it because you're going to be sanding this thing, you're going to be priming it, and at that point it's not going to make any difference. In terms of the LED kit, I was super impressed. Like there's virtually no difference between the Daban LED kit and the Bandai one, and it's like half the price or less. It's absolutely worth it. Now that they've pirated this LED kit, while Daban is still around, maybe get a hold of a few, because I'm pretty sure Bandai is going to sue the pants off them. You're never going to see Daban stuff on the market again, and that's going to be it.
I actually want to pick up. I do want to pick up with the band Unicorn, at least the Unicorn, or Banshee probably, because I really want the perfect grade Banshee. I think out of the three, the Banshee was always my favorite.
For $400, Dave, mine can be yours.
No.
Hustling going on the live stream.
I know he won a freaking double riser perfect grade.
I won the summer one.
I'm like, come on, dude, give it to me for $6.
That was the fall.
He was like, oh man, and he's like, they're good for $200. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't pay $200 for it.
Hey, it's marketing at its finest. But the fall campaign from, I think it was last year, it was either really early this year, I think it was spring actually. I won a master grade Zabi Verka, a PG red frame, and then the PG double riser. But then I turned around and I traded that double riser for a Banshee, the one that I really wanted. And the funny thing about this, the guy who actually we traded the double riser for, he wanted to go sell it again. I said, okay, you know what, you're kidding me, I don't care. He tried to sell this thing for like 2 months, and it didn't. It just stayed where it was. I feel like I kind of got the good end of that deal because of my obsession. But now I have to buy that $70 P Bandai kit.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm debating if I want to build another Banshee, the Banshee Master Grade in general. I built the regular Banshee, but I didn't like the claw or that like gun arm thing. I'd rather have the Norn.
The beam smart gun and the VN.
See, my biggest problem was when I built my first Banshee, though. I straight built it. It was just a flimsy pile of crap.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing about the Unicorn frames is I have 3 of them if you count the Banshee, and they're just like, I have the HD color version with the cage, and I have to keep the cage in now because it just doesn't want to stand up.
Wow.
Yeah. Interesting. I got the Verka full armor one. I got it for some kid on Gundam Bites, like really cheap, like real cheap. And I painted it completely, and I actually really enjoyed the kit. People got mad at me because I painted the Psycho frame red. It was green. I'm like,
I kept it green.
I just thought of something that I wanted to add for Abdul, who had the question about weathering a desert-themed kit. I saw a really, really cool technique that was used on that Japanese documentary show, Plamo, and what they did was, so like, you know how like sometimes if you're building a desert-themed like tank or whatever, you might have like, you might drive through like some sticky sand or some mud or something, and that might get stuck somewhere on like in this case like the feet of your mobile suit or whatever. And so what they do is they actually thin out some, like, let's say some sand colored, some beige paint, right? And they add in baby powder to give it like a granular kind of a clunky kind of a clumpy kind of texture, and then you just paint little dabs of that on to, like, let's say on the foot, and it looks really legit. It looks super awesome. I would never have thought to do that, but it really works.
Yeah, to use baby powder. That's interesting.
Yeah, baby powder, and that will work with any color, and it's a pretty sweet technique, and it's probably just like stuff you have lying around the house, which I really love it when they can find these cool techniques using just like some stuff you probably have lying around the house.
Let's face it, this hobby is not cheap. Like,
no, it really isn't.
Stuff. Like, it's like super expensive.
It really is, yeah. Especially if you're using rattle cans. Rattle cans, like, those add up really quickly.
Yeah, that's one of the major reasons why I wanted an airbrush so much.
I used to buy the primer, like the tomato primer that came in a giant can. It was like $10 or something like that.
Yeah, expensive.
I haven't stopped
like
that.
Crazy.
Yeah, Mr. Hobby Primer, I think I've been getting, so it's like Surfacer Primer, and it's 1000 grade, and I think I get it here locally for maybe like $14-16 Canadian, which is it's really steep for a tiny little Canon primer. So it turns out that Mr. Hobby also makes a little bottle primer that they will actually. So if you have exactly a little jar, just like their paints, and those pretty much just $3-4, but you probably need to order it online. But if you're airbrushing, you'll use a whole lot less of it, right? Because the spray pattern is a lot more
control it. Yeah.
Like, this is my personal favorite primer is Alclad, dude.
Alclad, really?
Yeah, really nice. I got the 1500 surfacer. I bought this at Hobby Lobby, but I never tried it. I don't even know what to thin it with. It's Can you even airbrush this stuff?
I don't know.
Oh, I've been told not to airbrush that stuff, the Tamiya source primer, because it will apparently lock up your air. It just wreaks havoc on airbrushes. So I've been told.
No, I won't do that then.
They'll say you pay $20 for a can of Chaos Black.
Why would you?
That's expensive. Not gonna lie, that's pretty damn expensive. But
here's another primer I use.
I think I might ask Dane to, once he goes to Gundam Planet, to pick me up a little jar or maybe 2 of those surfacers, because I can't find them anywhere down here.
Well, you're gonna have Ian do it because I'm not in Jersey anymore. Remember?
Well, you're going next week though. So.
Yep, doesn't mean I'm going to Gundam Planet.
No, I'm not even going to see him next week. Jamie's going to hog him the entire time.
Also, I use this, believe it or not.
Oh shit! What is that?
This when I'm doing my if I do like a salt chipped or a scratch.
Is that Rust-Oleum? Yeah, I've used Rust-Oleum primer too. I actually tried to use Rust-Oleum primer to roughen up the texture of my kit, and it just went on so smooth that I said, "Oh, okay, fuck it, I have to use another technique." But yeah, a really cool technique for that I found out on that documentary again was actually really interesting. Like you take Tamiya putty and you thin it down with a little bit of thinner until you have like a paintable kind of liquid, thicker than paint. And then what you do is you dab it on, right? And you keep dabbing it until it dries out, and it gives it like this grungy, as though this mobile suit has been fighting in the desert, and it's just been eroded a little bit, the steel's all roughened up. It's amazing. It looks so cool. I never knew how they did this texture, but it's the easiest technique in the world, and it looks legit. So my Zaku 1, my Thunderbolt Zaku 1 is getting that treatment. All the armor panels are being undercoated with that to give it some texture, and then primed and then painted. So that's going to be pretty much of a big job, but it's fun.
Yeah, I when I first started doing a lot of my weathering stuff, or just trying to get my kits look beat up, I used that brown primer. I prime everything in brown, and then I paint the kit in the normal colors that I wanted to do, and then I take a Scotch-Brite pen to it, scuff it up a little bit.
Scotch-Brite, that's interesting.
Yeah, and you can actually see how it comes out. That was the first one I ever did, was that Barbados high grade.
You mean the Barbados?
Are you use the Scotch-Brite pad to do the weathering on this thing?
Yeah, and wherever wherever it took the plastic down, the bare plastic, I touched it up with a little bit of testers, like a silver, to make it like a bare metal. I guess that was the very first truly weathered thing I ever really did.
So this metal effect here, that's dry brushing.
Wherever there's the silver.
Yeah.
I just dabbed it on a little bit with a real small brush.
That actually looks amazing.
Yeah.
Is that the?
Cool. Yeah, I love the way that came out. It actually looks fantastic. But tell me about the red. Did you do the same effect, the same type of deal for the where the white has been kind of worn out? You see this red kind of what? Yeah. How did you do the same approach for that?
Oh, what the all the red scraped up parts?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I painted I primered the whole kit with that Rust-Oleum rust primer, the brown.
Oh, okay. So that's the brown showing through from the.
Yeah.
I see.
I real lightly scraped up the top layer to get
That looks wicked. You can even use this for a ship because it's essentially the same type of paint, right?
The very first thing I ever did it on was actually an old car model. That was
nice.
I used that as a guinea pig.
That's really awesome. It looks really really good. It looks really good. I'm totally gonna do that. I have Scotch-Brite pads in my kitchen. So
yeah, like I said, just go
use
light
that.
with it. I also did it for like that Zaku I posted before that. That was painted again in the brown primer, and then I use salt chipping.
Yeah, salt chipping.
Now, with actual Scotch-Brite pads, you have to remember, very lightly.
Yeah.
You'll
That's
go all the way down.
Rust off of steel.
yeah, you'll easily scrape the paint off of whatever you're doing.
I use
then
it
some of the plastic.
on the presses that we have. Whenever I dismantle a press, I'm like, oh look, a nice layer of surface rust. Spray it down with 90% alcohol, and then just take a Scotch-Brite pad to it, and it's like, yeah, it's clean.
When we first started, you said you liked the Origin gun tank, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was another
It's so cool.
another one I salt chipping on, actually.
Salt chipping, huh? So salt chipping, you basically underpaint it, then add some salt and like clump up some big pieces of like just slightly damp salt.
Actually, I'm going to show you exactly
and then paint it over with salt, right?
Yeah. My girlfriend
Pretty
was
close. It's base, your base layer, hairspray, salt, then your primary layer. Toothbrush it off.
Okay, so you need hairspray also.
Yep, hairspray will make the salt stick to that base layer.
Dane just showed you on his camera, although you can't. It doesn't pop up unless you talk, Dane.
It's literally just
nice. Sea salt's a coarse solid. Okay, that's cool.
I first did it with water, but yeah, the hairspray would probably be a lot better, to be honest with you. But there's tons of different ways to do it. I even did another technique I saw. I have the MIG weathering powder. It's like rust colors and stuff.
Oh,
Mixed them together and I actually bonded them to the kit with I thinned down enamel clear. I primered the kit in just regular gray primer. I brushed the whole kit with the enamel clear, and then I dabbed on the rust colored weathering powders. Again, I used masking fluid on a Scotch-Brite pad you get a little bit more control that way with it, I believe.
Yeah, I went for the masking fluid because I figured it would be useful for little like tiny masking areas and also maybe for chipping. But this stuff is hella expensive, man. It's $10 a tiny bottle. A little bottle like this, $10. This is killing me, you know. So it turns out that for liquid masking, one of my buddies who likes to build so all this stuff we're talking about, like the finagling and stuff, I like to call this. I've coined a term. I like to call it ghetto grade. So when you're building ghetto grade, you're using cheap materials to do really.
You just use what you got. Like you're gonna laugh, dude. Like all my sanding blocks and my freaking like all this is my girlfriend gets them for me. She works at a Sally Beauty Supply. She's a manager, so she gets me like all my.
Cool. Yeah. That's great. That's how it should be. Like I think it's cool that they make all these specialty products for like every specific use case. But it's just more fun when you can make it your own and then you can just like scrounge around whatever you got in your garage, whatever you got in your washroom, and just like make something awesome with it. That's the fun of modeling. That's the real fun of model making. And it turns out that all like the pros from the old days, like that's what they've been doing for years, So that's definitely the way to go. So one of my buddies, Devin, who is a huge believer in building ghetto grade, he found out that if you use, it's either Rust-Oleum that makes this. I think it's Rust-Oleum. They make a product called Leak Seal. Okay, and Leak Seal is like this transparent. It comes in transparent, comes in black, comes in white. If you get it in transparent, it's essentially it sprays on. It's almost like Plasti Dip, but it's like a silicone type rubbery-ish material.
It's like that Flex Seal stuff where they spray the bottom
Flex
of the boat
Seal. That's it. So you can Flex Seal. Let's say you're doing a shield and you want to do like different lines or whatever, maybe different sections. Just spray on some Leak Seal and then just cut open the sections that you want to paint and just peel them off. And it's just such a genius solution, and it works perfectly. The nice thing is, like a huge, big-ass can of that is $10 also. So depending on what you're doing, that's a great way to mask too.
like I've seen people. I mean, just trying to get more like different texture and stuff. Like I said, I got recently big into the building like the ship models and stuff, like a bunch of battleships. I saw like a lot of these guys, what they do to like make because a lot of them like the hulls are just molded in just a solid piece. There's no detail on them. And this guy actually, he masked off where the plating would be and actually sprayed like this real thick, heavy clear on it. He did like 2 coats, and then he pulled the masking tape off, and it leaves like the raised edges and stuff. Like that's one way to do it. I saw another guy. He used that that aluminum tape that you use on like ducts and stuff.
Right.
Did he actually like legit made the whole hull of the ship like out of little squares of this tape? It was insane. Yeah, like it just. That's why, like I said, I'm into building all kinds of models, not just Gunpla, because like you can bring a lot of the techniques over from other types of model building to Gunpla, and get you get a lot better. It's just a lot
hey,
different.
This Marasai that you posted, did you make this?
What Marasai? The green one?
I think it's a Marasai.
That's
it's like
Gyaradoga.
hanging up.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, that's a Gyaradoga. This is a Gyaradoga.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So how did you get this like on the shield? You see how they have this like kind of grungy finish? Like how did you
the
how did you
grungy
get that?
finish is actually it's again something I brought over from another. It's from tank modeling. It's a coating called Zimmerit. The Germans used it during the Second World War. It was like an anti-mine coating. It was just thick enough where mines couldn't stick to the metal.
Yeah, it was to prevent the magnetic tank mines and stuff like that from affecting them, as well as the magnetic like stick-on explosives the British were coming up with, where they just run up, slap it on the side of the tank, and run.
Yeah. Okay, I see. So that's why it has this bumpy texture.
Yeah. Tamiya makes the little tool to apply Zimmerit. I used wood putty, believe it or not, and then I just went over it real lightly with the tool, and it gives it like the
line look.
Yeah.
Kind of like
I did a little bit of I did it on like the legs on both of the shields. I mean it's just that small little things. A lot of people don't really notice that I do stuff like that. You know what I mean? I know it's there.
Didn't you also actually do it on the legs of that Zaku sniper that you weathered?
Yeah, I did it on the backs of the legs.
Yeah, it's on the very backs of the ankles. The 3 images that I posted were that model that I showed you earlier, and that's also Dane's model is the Dreadnought, and John's model is the Striker from that build-off that we were talking about earlier when you were talking about the kit bashing.
Yeah.
There's another thing you can do, like that Mr. Surfacer. I think you get like 400, where it's that real grainy, almost I want to say almost sand-like stuff, like sand and powder pretty much. You can take that, and it's take a paint like a large, just an old paintbrush, and just dab it on there, and it'll make like really It won't dry flat, so it'll make like that textured feeling to it. I saw it in a build video one day.
Yeah, I've seen that for like tank. Like I said, like everything I learned with all this stuff, it was neither from just. I'm on like so many different model building pages on Facebook between ships, cars. Yeah, Pinterest. There's a lot of good tutorials on there.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Pinterest has some gorgeous stuff.
I learned a lot from my 40K days.
I learned a lot from Dane.
I learned a lot from Dane.
we let him figure this stuff out, and then we kind of just go ask him.
Dane actually got me back into model building after being on hiatus for years. We one day, I think when we were like 19 or something like that, you just went, "You want to build car models?" And sure, I guess. We go out to I think it was like AC Moore or Michael's Arts and Crafts. I picked up a Nova. He picked up a Chevelle.
Yeah, and we just went to
town. And we both did the same like primer gray paint job. They look like ratty pieces of crap. I put ladder bars on them.
But they're your ratty pieces of crap. Remember that?
Yes, that is true. I still have mine.
But no, I actually learned a lot from his name. I think it's like his name is Henry, that Vegeta 8259 guy.
Oh yeah.
I learned a lot of stuff from his tutorial videos, man.
He's really good, and then there's an Australian.
He's one hell of a builder. Like so, I mean, he's won all these competitions and all this stuff.
Like I legitimately, when I first got into Gunpla, I legitimately looked up to him. I mean, everybody's got there's other guys like Rich Flanagan. I know a lot of people don't really like him. but he knows what he's doing. He's a freaking good builder. Him, Tim Mather, again, I know a lot of people aren't the biggest fans of them, but like I 100% accept their criticism because they know what they're talking about, and I feel as though I'm like a better builder because of the criticism that those two guys gave me.
Good.
I love how this is slowly but surely turning into the old Skype call where it's like we're just talking and we're building.
Three
of us are building
pretty
right
much.
now.
Yeah.
The call is definitely deteriorating as time goes on, but don't worry, we'll pull through. The plan was to stream till 3 p.m. So we just have like another 10 minutes or so. So I think we'll be able to.
But that's legit what used to go on those old Skype calls. Would like 3 of us would be on UCGO, and like the other 6 or 7 guys are all sitting there building random kits on the Skype call.
You just hear like sanding in the background.
You're standing in the back, hear Dane's compressor going, and we're like, dude,
compressors.
Because I'm one of those like I don't want to.
Denny's restaurant.
So you're laughing about like that guy, those dudes, old school dudes, like just airbrushing stuff with no like masks on. It's like that was me. Like I'd have a cigarette hang out of my mouth.
I've seen that. They do that. They'll be like smoking. He's spraying like fucking thinned out paint. You know, his entire apartment building.
It's funny because I used to work at a car dealership, and like we had a safety meeting, and we were like, "All right, look, you guys are wearing respirators for a reason. That doesn't mean you cut a hole in the respirator and stick a cigarette in it." And everybody looked over to this one guy, and he's just like, "You got me."
Terrible.
I keep my respirator since all my stuff's out in the garage. I don't even.
Yeah.
Plus, I just use acrylic spots, so it doesn't really that. It's not that bad, but
yeah. Like my compressors.
So I'm pretty excited about this new product I found, which was actually a clear coat that you can spray with your airbrush. Because I saw all these guys in Japan using like this clear coat that comes in a little bottle, and because clear coat's another thing that's super expensive.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like matte coat is like $10-12 a can, and it's a tiny little can of matte coat. So, but they hardly use that. Like they're for top coat, they all use this like. You know, you blend it yourself, and then if they're doing cars, they'll use urethane, like clear urethane, and they all seem to just airbrush it on. And so I found some made by an American company. It's made in the U.S. It's called Microsol, and it's I guess it's probably sold in hobby shops. But cheap, real cheap, like $5 for a little bottle, and you can thin it out using lacquer.
These are my go-to clear coats right here. Again, I love using this stuff, dude. I like live by Alclad.
Alclad, huh? Yeah.
They're kind of pricey, but I've had this jar for a year.
Yeah, see, that's it. It lasts forever.
He turned me over onto the Alclad stuff as well.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, their metallics are just outstanding.
Yeah, from what I understand, they make the best metallics in the business. They're pre-thinned. They're just perfect. You spray them on with the same exact effect.
Yep. Everything through Alclad pre-thinned.
Okay.
Yeah. I still personally adore the fact that the one color that Dane also turned me over onto for doing like eyes and stuff like that is the same color as his Oldsmobile.
That's so cool.
I don't see some of the people using like floor polish as like a top coat, and I'm like they're just fitting it down.
Yeah, Future Finish is one of the people use a lot.
There's a I forgot what his name. He's from the UK. Like Fox's Models or something like that. That's all he uses. It's like a giant bottle of floor polish.
Yeah. What's his name? That's like a model building guru or something?
Yeah, that's his name. Model building guru.
Yeah. He's a nice guy, but this guy has a lot of experience. He's been in models for like 30 years.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's a nice guy too. Like if you send him a message on Facebook, he'll probably reply in like a few hours and stuff. Really nice guy. really approachable. Okay, I've seen some horror stories with that future stuff, by the way, because it turns out that they make two different blends. They make one that's totally clear, and they make one that's milky that they sold in the Philippines. And so these guys from Southeast Asia had posted in one forum, one group on Facebook that he had done one of the armor panels with Future Clear, Pledge Act. They don't sell Future anymore. It's called Pledge now, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or they bought it or something. And anyway, so now it's Pledge, right? So he used the milky Pledge on a rainy day, and he was spraying outside, which is a dumb thing to do. Like you don't spray paint, you don't paint in the rain. But he didn't know that, right? He's in like a new builder. So what had happened is that the humidity got trapped between his clear coat and his paint, and the clear coat cracked on top of the thing. So it just ruined the whole part. So yeah. So I don't know. Like it didn't affect the paint though. So it seems that if the formula is designed for model building, maybe it's not so bad, but the Future or whatever you used Pledge, like it did not. It was no bueno, man. Didn't like that. So
I'd cry.
Here's some other stuff that Dane actually turned me over onto as well was metallizers.
Yeah, that's
Model Master. Yeah.
I use a lot of that on my frames and stuff.
Let's see. I use that. I'm a big fan of
It's great on your frame. It's great.
Hey, I'm gonna be right back, guys.
Gun barrel.
Okay.
All that stuff.
You gotta be careful with that Model Master stuff. Like it literally runs everywhere.
Oh yeah, it's thin for an airbrush as well.
Oh yeah, you use like the tiniest little amount of it. You don't even like fill the airbrush cup. You put like you take like an eyedropper and you're like.
Let's say I have to use my stainless steel one and use it for like an eyedropper.
Yeah, you can't just pour the bottle directly into the cup of the airbrush.
But back to the YouTube people. Yeah, I invited. I think it was like Jabman025. I found him on Facebook. I forgot what his name was. And I invited him, and he just never responded to me. So I'm like, okay.
Because he hates you, Matt.
I know, right? It's like,
we're not talking about unicorn.
Nobody wants to talk about unicorns.
It's okay, Matt. I'll talk to you about the Jim Echoist type. It's close enough, right?
I think we can make something work.
And I have a Sinanju as well. It is one of 3 Xeon units that I own. 4 technically. I bought a Comfer. I bought the Zaku Ground War set, which I then sacrificed the old-ass Zaku kit in order to Franken bash it with the Comfer to make it look like a repaired Camfer using Zaku parts. Which I never
how's that
finished.
coming along, by the way? I was gonna say, I remember you started with
it. It's stuck in a box in the closet at the moment because I was cleaning stuff.
Real well.
So real, it's coming along something.
Yeah.
Are you ever gonna build that Dendrobium?
No.
You shut your whore mouth.
That's it for almost like 3 years now.
Yeah, no, it has. I bought it in 2013, so yeah, it's been 3 years.
It just sits there, and I'm like, oh god, like I don't want it, but it just sits.
The amount of times that Steve and Adam asked me to buy that off of me, and then Shelby yelled at Adam.
I'll give you $50 for it.
Yeah, that's a higher offer than Steve gave me. Steve said 20.
See, I don't love all my friends.
Right now, you're the high bid. Until you get in the ballpark of what it's worth,
55.
I'd still really like to do I still want to do a perfect grade Zaku eventually.
I know you're gonna yell at me for hearing about this again, but perfect grade RX-78, still looking for one. Just saying.
Yeah. After seeing that ground type Gundam, that resin conversion, yeah, I kind of want it too.
Dude, I want to do that myself.
Also, if anybody has an ELAC Zac, I'm looking for one of those. A little high grade. I still can't find one.
They're out there.
Waiting on? I'm still waiting on one of you two to decide whether or not you want to buy that Zeta kit off of me.
Oh, I forgot all about that, dude.
I know you did. It was supposed to leave with you when you left for North Carolina.
I forgot. I totally
It just
forgot.
never did. All right, well, here, I'll
High definition color. Master
I'll
Grade.
send you my offer. Okay, there you go. All right.
All right, I'll buy Matt's Perfect Xeon, and he can buy the Zeta.
We'll just trade. This is a giant circle. All right, based on current value for high resolution data, I'm offering about $12.
Wait, Iris Master Kit? Master Grade?
Oh, it's Master Grade. All right, fine. $14.
Up yours.
Wait. Is it based off the 2.0?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's based off the 2.0.
50 as high as I'm going.
15.
15 whole U.S. American dollars.
No, I'll hold Dane to his offer of 35.
I'd rather buy a ball.
All right, fine. 33.30 is my final offer.
33.30.
$33.30.
33.33.
Calm down there, Rick Harrison. We don't need to go that high.
And 3/10 of a penny.
I got a
Let's
buddy
go.
that's an expert on perfect grade Zetas.
Can I get a change for dollar? Best I can do is 75 cents.
Matt, stop.
I like that meme. It's funny. Okay.
He said, how much you want for it? I'm gonna need about 350.
Oh God.
I like who contemplates that. Like he never just accepts the offer. He's like, well, he's like, okay. Like he always contemplates. He's like, how are you feeling about probably a third of what they're asking? But
It's,
I just want to.
how about this? We already agreed on a price 2 months ago. Stop stalling.
I just want to go into that store and have like a perfect grade doctor or something, and just see what he says on it. Like something he knows absolutely nothing about. But
No, his apparently his internet dropped.
Yeah, I
Oh.
just saw that.
Uh-oh.
I was wondering where he went. I was like, what up?
that ain't good. He said he wanted to go get a drink and then just never came back. My dad.
Just like Dad. I mean,
But they just like my father.
Oh,
When I was a young boy, my father left.
He left and never came back.
yeah, it dropped. It dropped Kenny earlier too.
Hey guys, sorry about
Kenny
that.
did not
The internet connection dropped randomly, so it kicked me off.
One thing, we're just thinking.
These two have a bidding war over a freaking Zeta Master Grade anyway,
When I was a young boy.
and you're gonna get us sued. Stop.
Yes. May the anti-jokes begin.
No, I'm not gonna go that far. Okay, so
Yeah, we set a guideline at the beginning, and like half the stuff I was going to talk about is on that list. So,
Yeah, so that's okay. No one's complained so far, so I think we.
There you go.
got away with
You can't say
just the
that.
right level of debauchery, so that should be fine.
I need a safe place.
So we'll keep it at that level until somebody tells us to tone it down. How about that?
I need a safe place. Nate, is that a safety pin on your shirt? Can I talk to you?
Oh no!
don't do that.
Do I have those on my desk? Please, I do.
like, give me your special snowflake.
Oh god! This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs.
My buddy shared something the other day. It was like a video like, "Oh, this university is teaching robots how to just ignore human orders." I'm like, "Do you want a Terminator army? Because that's a Terminator army."
Do you want to die?
Oh, hey guys, talking about the robot apocalypse. Hopefully, maybe next weekend. Not guaranteed yet, but I've actually received a response from the MAHQ guys. I don't know if you guys know MAHQ.
Yeah.
And the Gundam podcast. So they've all checked out the Anime Deco show, and they like it, and they want to join the stream at some point. So one of these weekends, hopefully, Soulbro and the guys from MAHQ would like to join it. I don't know when it's going to happen because I think they're pretty big gamers and they're all kind of busy doing that most of the time. But streaming on Twitch and so on. But at some point, they might pop in. So that'll be fun when it happens. So, keep a lookout.
They can allocate time. I stream with a buddy of mine on Twitch all the damn time. So.
Yeah, exactly.
When you don't have the craps.
Ian. It actually kind of worked out that we didn't get to do this yesterday. Like between Ian dying and
Kenny's swapping engines for some reason.
Yeah, no, it was something of his buddy's Firebird. Apparently, they had to put a new motor in it. And yeah.
Yeah, no, it worked out pretty good. So how do you guys feel about making it kind of like a weekly thing? Because usually on Sunday afternoons, like today I was visiting a family for a day, but typically I'm just chilling in my room building Gunpla anyway.
Yeah.
It
10 out
seems
of
like
10 times, I've got nothing to do.
awesome. Perfect. So
I won't be able to do it next week. I'm going to New Jersey for the weekend.
Okay.
Because he hates us.
Tropical New Jersey.
Yes.
Tropical New Jersey.
20 degrees at night, 40 degrees in the daytime, New Jersey.
Dan goes back to gangland.
I know, I'm complaining because it's 60 degrees out here. I'm like, it's too cold.
It's 60 degrees out there? It is
32 degrees outside right now?
Me and Dan are like, I wear shorts on Christmas.
Yeah, it's great. I was wearing flip-flops and shorts on and a tank top on Thanksgiving Day, which was nice.
That's an image I want to see. Not really. I actually don't.
I mean, that is actually nice because there's only an 8-mile-an-hour crosswind, but I mean,
only an 8 mile an hour.
earlier in the week,
it
sucked.
It's slightly colder here too because I'm like right on the ocean, but even that, it's still warm.
Let's say I'm out on the lake, so it's about 10 degrees more a little bit. During the summer, it gets really hot here, so you really can't go work a whole lot in the summer. It'll be like 105. So.
Yeah, dude. That's one of the reasons that New Jersey is like, you can't tell if it's hell or not. If you live close enough to Elizabeth, it stinks like petrochemical all the time. Or if you're near the sewer plant in Trenton, one or the other. In the summertime, like midsummer, it goes up to like 105 with crap. 70% humidity.
Oh yeah.
In the wintertime, it goes, hey, we still have 40% humidity, but it's also 22 degrees outside on a good day, so you're boned.
That's crazy. So it's pretty much like Canada and New Jersey is, eh? Like it gets
sucks.
properly cold.
Canada, but with more gang wars.
More gang.
The only way that we get any respite is we sit there and complain, and then we see pictures coming from like Buffalo, New York, and we're like, "Oh, you poor souls."
Yeah, I'm sure it's
like,
snows
God.
more further north, right?
I can see why Dan moved down to where I live now. So.
The only sucky thing is me being on like right on the coast now. We get hurricanes a lot. Because I'm right by Myrtle Beach. So we get like the brunt of like the big hurricane we just recently had. Like it made direct landfall where I am.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
It actually wasn't that bad though. Luckily enough, it could have been so much.
Yeah, we lucked out. We lost power for 2 days. I thought I was gonna die.
I still remember the saddest image from when Katrina made landfall and came up to New Jersey and stuff. The saddest image that I saw in New Jersey was the Wawa that was out by Seaside was like under 7 feet of water. And I was like, no!
What is this Wawa place? I keep hearing like you and everybody else but me talk about it.
It is a magical, mythical land that Dane is going to be hoarding himself on when he comes back up here.
Oh,
is it kind of like a White Castle type of?
No. It's a convenience store.
Like,
Okay.
do you have like things like
a
Quick Check or Sheets or something like that down there?
Oh yeah, we got a sheet there.
You have Sheets?
Yeah.
I probably have Sheets here.
Sheets and Wawa are owned by the same company. Sheets is basically the same.
Yeah. Yeah, Dane, there's one by my school. There's like 2 actually. There's like
You're like 3 hours away from me still, so I can't get
Or
Yeah, Sheets and Wawa are owned by the same company. Like they own each other. So Sheets is pretty much the same thing as Wawa, except with more fried food.
I like it already.
Paula has hoagies and stuff. She says like, "Hey, here's burgers, fries, and like deep fried
Diabetes.
onion rings, deep fried macaroni bites."
That
Dude,
sounds
deep fried-
positively disgusting. Deep fried macaroni. That's
Deep fried
no-
pizza.
Man, that shit.
So I
Deep
like
fried pizza is the best thing I've ever had.
Welcome to the Northeast, bro.
Did you say deep fried pizza?
It's so good. I kid you not. It is amazing.
Deep
Yeah.
fried cheesecake.
No, you're most
One
likely to get
thing I want to try, I definitely want to try, is I feel like deep fried turkey is a must
Good.
if you're
Yeah.
a turkey
I
fan.
mean, it's
one
not
of
the
one of
same
my
thing as
customers at my job brought me in some deep fried turkey. It was pretty good.
It's almost the same
Yeah.
thing as deep fried chicken, just with more tryptophan.
Oh, that's perfect. I love fried chicken. Like I'm a fried chicken fanatic. I love it. It's you don't understand the torture I was going through watching like Breaking Bad with Los Pollos Hermanos. And just like every episode, I'm like, man, I need some fried chicken inside me right now. And this is what you like, just cooking and it's just frying and it's chicken. It's just glorious, but you can't have it because it's 2 a.m. and everything's closed. It's just it's horrible experience.
That's why I like
My friend's mom with her freaking fascination with the Food Network. Jesus.
Dude, Food Network is life. I love the Food Network.
Yeah, we know you secretly love Guy Fieri.
I see my welding to the guy who looks like Guy Fieri. It's really creepy. So he's like 60.
All right, guys. So we're gonna wrap it up for today. It was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
for
no
joining
problem,
me on the
man.
podcast.
No problem.
Yeah, seriously, thank you for inviting us, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll do this pretty much every Sunday at the same time. I think some of the guys from Vanpla might be joining next weekend too, if they're free,
Cool.
and some other YouTubers and whatnot. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it'll just bring the whole like Gunpla community together, at least in North America. So
I tried the
Yeah.
YouTube thing. It did not go well. I had a grand total of 60 subscribers
Heck yeah.
over the course of 14 months.
well, dude, you're already doing better than me. I have like 33 subscribers. So.
Never mind. Like
Like I
zero.
said,
So,
we're all on a lot of Gunpla pages. So I'm pretty sure if you start sharing this stuff more and more people will be paying attention to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I just started to, and I haven't really been posting on the forums either. So I know that a lot of Gunpla builders don't really use Facebook, and they're mostly on the forums. So I don't doubt that given time, people will notice and whatever. So
Yeah.
Well, I
it's,
mean,
it's all good.
Dane, how many people are on the America page now?
1.3.
Yeah, we have gone up probably a good 500 people in the last 6 months on that page. It just like blew
That's
up
cute.
out of
That's
nowhere.
really cool.
Yeah,
That's
Like,
really
every
good.
day I'm
Not
getting
saying that.
3 people want to join.
yeah. Like I'm looking at it right now. I think we have like 105 people I have to accept on it right now.
That's awesome.
I gave up on that because I was sick and tired of being the one that was going through it.
Yeah.
I'd like go through like the 30 or 40 that we'd get every night, and I'd be like, "You don't speak English. You don't speak English. You don't
I
speak
will,
English."
I will offer up some advice though. If anybody's trying to join, I will offer some advice. It'll go a lot quicker if you like your profile picture is actually you. There's like stuff there on your profile, not just like,
Yes.
all right, he changed his profile picture from one anime chick to the other 6 months ago. Like, that doesn't help.
Oh yeah, that-
No, I know. That makes it really sketchy. But at least with the language thing now, Facebook has like that translation thing. That's really, really useful. Like, because some of these guys are like chatting in like Bahasa Malay, and I'm like, what are you saying? Yeah,
Well,
and it translates it half decently sometimes. It's just not too bad.
Yeah, I told you, I'm an admin on the international page, Gunpla Builders now, and I clean that page up.
English.
I clean that page up big time. It was a cesspool when I first joined it, and I mean,
I don't even think I'm on this anymore.
we rewrote the rules. I mean, dude, there was so much porn getting posted every day between just anime girls just flat out naked. And I'm like, what does this have to do with Gundam?
Yeah, they have the
Build
Upside
Fighters.
Squad for that now. Like, if they want to post that
No,
kind
they
of
can
stuff,
go to
they
It's
can
a Gundam.
join.
No.
Oh yeah, Matt,
That
don't
garbage
give
footage.
me links. Stop it.
But
I'm gonna go open a new tab. What's
no,
the
there's,
Gundam?
okay, Matt.
That page.
I just joined it, so I like it so far. But yeah. All right.
That's interesting.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna get going. So same time next week, I guess we'll start at.
Like I said, I won't be here, but yeah.
Yeah. So
Same
whoever
time,
can make it,
same
it can make it. It's
Gundam
gonna be 1
Blast.
p.m. Eastern time on Sundays, and you guys have a great week. Take care, and as always, stay frosty.
For those of you on the Pacific Coast, that's about 11 o'clock.
Yep, East Coast or West Coast.
No, wait, no, never mind. That's Mountain Time. It'd be 10 o'clock Pacific.
10 o'clock at 10 is 3 hours.
3 hour difference.
Good.
Good stuff.
Good
Adios.
stuff.
All right, guys. Bye bye.
Bye.
Later.